if your passport expires in less than 3 to 5 years, then I would recommend that you renew it now. In most countries, the passport is valid for 10 years. In other countries, between 5 to 7 years. And if your passport is only valid for 3 to 5 years, you should apply for a new passport now. And I will explain you why in this video. So we often talk about plan B on this channel, setting up companies abroad, opening bank accounts abroad, applying for a second citizenship, applying for a residence permit, and so on and so forth. So all measures to preserve your freedom and to protect yourself and your assets from the state. And undoubtedly, these are certainly all valuable measures. No question about it, but people often disregard the obvious yet very important issues. So imagine you have emigrated, you live abroad, and now your passport expires. So what do you do then? Well, you have to go to the local embassy of your home country, and then you have to apply for a new passport. And why is it important? Why do you need a passport? Well, that's a pretty banal question, of course. You can't get away without a passport. Essentially, you have no mobility, so you are ultimately stuck. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing, but it can be quite annoying if you want to get away. And now take yourself back to the pandemic era a few years ago. So how efficiently do you think the embassies worked in those pandemic days? I can tell you pretty modestly, many embassies were completely closed, so you didn't get a passport at all during that time. So you would have been completely stuck in the country you were in. And let's be realistic, a crisis like this could break out again at any time, or a completely different crisis, perhaps a geopolitical crisis like war or something like that. And with what's happening in the world right now, actually anything is possible right now. Now imagine there is a war. How will the embassies work then? And that is even more critical than in a pandemic, for example. So imagine if some European government decided that men who are fit for military service could no longer apply for a passport abroad. So do you think that's completely absurd? Well, then take a look at what happened to the Ukrainian refugees in Germany, for example. During this war, the Ukrainian government decided that Ukrainian men of military age could no longer apply for a passport at the embassy. So if you live in Germany as a Ukrainian, you went to the Ukrainian embassy to get a new passport, and now you have to go back to the Ukraine to get a new passport because in Germany you were rejected. And you can imagine what happens when you get there. They certainly won't let you go, that's quite clear, and the state has refused to issue replacement ID cards for such people. And now imagine your situation. Imagine you are somewhere abroad, perhaps in Dubai. You moved there to escape compulsory military service. Who knows what will happen here in Europe? So we don't know. They are arming like mad. And to be honest, in my opinion, it has never been more likely that a military conflict will lead to war. Now imagine that some European government passes a law similar to the Ukrainian one, and the case we have just mentioned could be completely absurd, and then you would no longer be able to apply for a new passport here in Dubai. So then you are stuck in Dubai. So my tip to you, don't wait to apply for a new passport right now. If you now have a passport that is only valid for a few more years, apply for a new passport now. You can do that. It's completely legal. Then you will have a new passport that is valid for 5 to 10 years, and the probability that the conflict will pass within these 5 to 10 years is pretty high in my opinion. The Second World War, for example, only lasted 6 years, and with a passport that is valid for 10 years, you have restored your full mobility. And in my opinion, this is the simplest and most effective tip for obtaining a basic level of mobility, even without applying for a second citizenship or passport. So take a look at your passport right now, check it out, see how long it is still valid, and then extend it, especially if you are a man and less than 60 years old, because one thing is clear: once a situation of tension or defense arises, it will be much more difficult to get a new passport here if your country is involved in a military conflict. The crucial thing when working out a plan B is to take all these measures before it gets really hot, before all the authorities are overrun, or it's even prohibited by law to get a new passport. So if these are also issues that concern you, if you are wondering how you can best protect yourself from possible geopolitical or other crises, then I would be very happy to have a consultation with you. I will include the link here in the description of this video. We help our clients not only to set up a tax-optimized international structure and find the best banking solutions, but also to work out a plan B. Just to be clear, I don't want to spread fear, of course. I just want you to be optimally prepared for such worst case scenarios. So let's all hope together that this conflict doesn't escalate any further. I hope you enjoyed the video despite the negativity. Leave it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one. Bye.